standing at the beginning of time. And the Almighty said to me, Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in? I would take my mental flight by Egypt, and I would watch God's children in their magnificent trek from the dark dungeons of Egypt, across the Red Sea, through the wilderness and on toward the Promised Land. And in spite of its magnificence, I wouldn't stop there. I would move on by Greece, and I would take my mind to Mount Olympus. And I would see Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides, and Aristophanes as they assembled around the Parthenon. And I would watch them around the Parthenon as they discussed the great and eternal issues of reality. But I wouldn't stop there. I would even go by the way that the man for who I am named had his habitat. And I would watch Martin Luther as he tacked his 95 Theses at the door at the Church of Wittenberg, but I wouldn't stop there. I would even come up to 1863 and watch a grappling president by the name of Abraham Lincoln finally come to the conclusion that he had to sign the Emancipation Proclamation, but I wouldn't stop there. Strangely enough, I would turn and say to the Almighty, you allow me to live just a few years. In the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy. Now that's a strange statement. Trouble all around, confusion in the land, that's a strange statement. But somehow I know that only when it's dark enough can you see the stars. I see God moving in a way that men in some strange way are responding. Something's happening in our world. Masses are rising up, and wherever they are assembled today, whether they're in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Accra, Ghana, New York City, Jackson, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry is always the same. We want to be free. Another reason I'm happy to live in this period, we have been forced to a point where we are going to have to grapple with what men for years have been trying to grapple with, what the demands didn't cause them to grapple with. Survival demands that we grapple with. No long men for years now have been talking about war and peace. No longer is it a choice between violence and non-violence in this world. It's non-violence or non-existence. That is where we are today. They have 20 megaton bombs in Russia right now that can destroy a city as big as New York with every building wiped away and every person. We can do the same to China and Russia, and we're drifting there. Late President Kennedy was right. Mankind must put an end to war. The war will put an end to mankind. Now it doesn't matter now. Really doesn't matter what happens now. We got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Now on mine, like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He has allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know the night that we as a people will get to the promised land. I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. It shall come to pass.